You should be getting let in. A couple things being worked on right now, and I would say Friday, Monday timeframe. Then anybody next week that did any of the packages, the Gen 2 trunks, all of you guys will be let in. You guys will be able to start going and exploring and running around and doing stuff and communicating and do all of that. I just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek on it. Now, that is if you have a PC. If you have a Mac, though, you're probably one more week out. So you'll be invited in, but right now, Mac users are not able to get in and do it. But the Mac build is being done at this time. We figured 2 weeks on the outside for the Mac build to be available. Could be sooner, though. They're working on it right now. I actually saw while I was working with the programmers 3 o'clock this morning to go over some stuff. I saw the button that said, if you're on a Mac, click here and to download the Mac software. So it is getting closer to it being available. So before I take you guys into Otherverse, I want to take you guys into another metaverse, because I think it's hard for people to understand. A lot of people might want to compare it to what they've seen maybe in the video game world, right? Which is a different animal. But I want to take you to Verbella is another metaverse, guys. They've spent a lot of money, a lot of development time. They've been working on it for years now. Okay, this is not something that was just built up when Facebook changed their name to Meta. They were actually involved in doing some stuff. But I want to show you what is available, because this is Horizon's pretty similar in their character development and stuff like that. But this is what everyone else is building. This is where they're at this point. And I'm going to show you then Otherverse, and what I'm going to show you where we are with Otherverse is nothing compared to the developments that are going to happen over the next few months, not years, but over the next few months, and being able to open up and move in the right direction. So, and at the end of this, I'd love to get people's opinion. And here's the question I want you to think about. While you're watching this, can you see yourself doing any type of entertainment thing, maybe attending a concert, maybe attending a film festival, maybe maybe you lived in a town, maybe you lived in California and you love the garlic festival that they have there. And I'm trying to think of the name of the town. It'll pop in my head in a minute. We've gone a couple times, but they have a huge garlic festival up there, all kinds of garlic stuff, but maybe now, like we live in Gilroy. There you go. Thank you, BJ. Gilroy has the big garlic festival. I live in Arizona now. I'm not going to drive to Gilroy, right? It's quite a ways away, or fly there and spend hundreds of dollars to go. But in the metaverse, I would be able to attend it. And the key is just whether I'm using what you're going to see here, which is the AR, right? Augmented reality, versus going into a VR, a headset on later on next year, where I can really experience it in a 3D manner. So I just wanted working in the metaverse. We were talking a few minutes ago before we came on here, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys have seen the news. Taylor Swift is having a concert over in Brazil. So a few days ago, an unfortunate incident happened where a fan staying out in the 100 and something degree weather with the heat index ended up, passing away and died from that. And then they took a day off from the concert. They had a second one, or the next version of it, because the fans were just demanding it. And another young lady, even younger, the first one was 25, the next one that was 23. But think about if I could get that experience from my own home, where I have air conditioning, where I have water, where I have, I'm not jammed into a crowd. The other problem that they were having, because it's in Rio, was muggings. There were lots of people that were attending the concert that were getting mugged. These are the things that begin to change. And could a concert work in the metaverse? That would be a big question. Well, Travis Scott made over $40 million with a metaverse concert, right? So they work. And a matter of fact, Travis Scott could have never made $40 million having a real physical concert. But in the metaverse, there was enough people that were able to attend it that it was exciting. So I want us to start to open our minds up from not, from what I understand today of the metaverse, would I go in there? No, I like real world, right? I like to be able to touch or see people and all that stuff. But I'm going to call you on that's just crap, right? Because we're on Zoom right now. You can't feel and touch me, but you're watching a presentation. You can't do it when you watch a YouTube video or a TikTok video. You're literally watching video. So if we say that millions of people will do that on a daily basis, how many people on here in the last week have played a video game a game on their phone, right? We're already using the technology. It's just when we call it metaverse, all of a sudden we're like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Yes, you will, because a game in the metaverse will be different. Because how many people here play against friends on their phones, right? You're playing a crossword puzzle or some type of thing. I can tell you that we were testing out a game for one of the game companies that we talked to about doing some stuff called Prize Kingdom, right? And we all got on a team. Corey, myself, and Jan, and right? We were fooling around with it, testing it. Bryce plays a lot of games with his friends. So all of this stuff is things that we're going to do. And all this is going to be is the next level. And then, of course, when you add Web3 into it and you start talking about play to earn, right? Participatory economy, those type of things, all of a sudden it starts to fit together like a very nice puzzle. And you'll see that the adoption of it will be faster than probably any other adoption out there once people understand that it's not. So let me go here, and I'm going to share my screen, and let me get Verbella launched first. So I'm going to take you guys into a competing world, I'm going to call it, right? This is a world. Now, luckily, we loaded up earlier because it did an update, and it was like a pretty long time. Corey thought he was back in the dial-up internet service when it took so long for it to load, but we're jumping into it right now. It's coming up. And okay, we're here. We're going to put in our password.
Corey Rocks 12345.
How do you know my password, buddy?
Well, you use it for everything, so.
That's crazy that he knew that. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to go jump in here, guys, because I really believe in comparisons, right? Being able to look at really what else is available, because if you're not into metaverse stuff, right, you're not gonna, you don't really have a to compare it to, right? So we're going to give you guys a comparison. It's still loading, guys. I'm going to show you. I have Otherverse in the same stage as this is right here. If we're launching it, you're going to see that and Otherverse is loading slow right now. I'm going to tell you right now, it is loading slow compared to what it's going to do once we get it up and running. So here's my character in this metaverse, guys. So that's one of their community members. They don't have a community. This is where I spawn in, is the community center. So you notice there's just somebody there that can help me. She could point me in the right direction. That's great. At least there's someone there to help me. We're going to go look around here and just go and wander around. Go down here and look around a little bit. Most of the interface is drop-down menus here. I can go up here and, change my avatar, links, open campuses, and stuff like that. So there's some settings right here, all kind of on one menu. I've got to go through and search. I can hit the map view here. And it's going to pull up the whole map, and I can look at different regions and, jump around and stuff like that. So I can go to another region here. We got a little snow falling. It's wintertime now in the land. So here's Verbella. Now let's go look and see what. So let me ask you guys a question. Does anybody feel like they're in a real environment, or a real place that they would want to hang out in, could see themselves working or doing some stuff in this space. For me, it's too cartoony, right? I don't feel like it's a person, like it's me walking there. I feel like I'm driving a video game or a character, maybe something along those lines. So now let me go ahead and shut this down. And we're going to jump into quit. All right, now let's go open up Otherverse. So here's Otherverse open. Let's hit the launch button. Oh, stop me from sharing. Okay, so you guys can see that it's already at this stage of launching. I click launch. It's going to run a little slower because we're on here, but it's not going to take as long to get into the world and get going around and moving around. So oh wait, sharing is paused. Stop share. I need a little cooperation here. All right. System. I got to clean up my computer. Okay, so let's see here. Let me go back to share. Let me close some windows here, guys. Still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I think running two metaverses bogged my system down here for a second. Hold on. Crossing over. I got to close some windows. I had my email open and close stuff. All right. Let me share screen. All right. Share sound. All right. We're going to start over. There we go. Okay. Here we are. Oh, let's see. I think I closed it by accident. No, let's see. See, it says low system resources may affect your audio quality. All right, now we'll start over again. There we go. All right. Oh, okay, now we're running it. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
You are forgiven. Too much stuff running at once.
Yes. I got to remember to close, especially when I'm running two metaverses at the same time. So on my little laptop. All right. Well, it didn't take us long to load. Oh, you know what it is? It's a video. I know. I had to shut off a video. Hold on.
Yeah, your voice was getting kind of choppy there.
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't crash the system last night at about midnight last night. So there we go. So let's go to the continue here. Let's hit the continue button.
Already looks realistic.
Yes. All right, here we are at the transport center. So one of the differences is they just had that circle, and there's people there that are just standing here. This is a real welcome center. So this will be where there'll be volunteers like their circle. But if a volunteer is not available, I'll be able to walk up to one of these and it'll play. It'll have a menu on it and it'll walk me through exactly what I need to do, how to use my closet, how to do all the stuff that's in there. But again, way more realism than there we go. All right, so let's go jump around a little bit. So now this is working. There's Brian. You guys want to say hi to Brian? That's Brian Schuster.
Oh wow. Might as well say hi to him. Carl's here too.
So there's the chat on the bottom left, right?
Yep. And eventually voice will be activated here, guys. I can show you in the panel here. Let's go here and go here. You'll see when we get down to media, there'll be all kinds of sounds, right? UI sounds, pet sounds, emote sounds, ambient volume, dialogue volume, text to speech. So you'll see that the text to speech. So I'll be able to type and it'll talk. Error speech, music, all that stuff will be available as this continues to develop and get there. So Brian's doing some dancing. Now, if I want to talk to Brian, I can right click on him. So that's what I just did. I right clicked and it's going to come up message, profile, friends, and then more. So, and there'll be more. All of these will eventually be filled in so I can communicate with people and so I can click on it and look at Brian's profile and that's going to come up. You can give me some social media stuff. So I want you to think about this as a marketing tool, guys, for these type of things, right? So that'll pop up and go from there. So Brian's doing a lot of the moves there. So
I think he challenged you to a dance off, buddy.
I think so too. But we have to go to a dance floor to let's see. Heading to the club. Want to join? Club Elegance. Let's go to Club Elegance, guys. So here we are at the club. Anybody here a piano player in the chat if you're a piano player? Let's see. How many of you guys would like to be a piano player? So that's my next question. Put a 1 in if you'd like to be a piano player, right? Corey says he's a piano hearer. So one of the cool things is, guys, you see this here, and I'm going to start clicking on these. So just like the dance stuff, there will be moves that people can make that they can cross his arms, cross his legs. But I want you guys to think through the process on the gaming side of things as this continues to develop and build. Eventually, somebody being able to say, have a key here, I want to be a piano player, and it puts up here, and then you're able to put in whatever song it is or whatever it is that you want to listen to and play. You'll be able to do that. So that's one of the the gamified features that'll be built into the game for people to be able to do it. Yeah, Brian's telling you, have you tried private message? So let's get up and we'll go over here. Let's see, where's Brian at? So we can go here, and he's on the dance floor. So we're gonna get on the dance floor with him. We're gonna have a dance off. So challenge him to. You guys are gonna love my dance moves. I mean, I'm like, I like jam out. So
Oh, we've seen them.
yes, you guys have, yeah, but most of the people on here haven't, though, right?
Yeah.
So some have, a lot haven't. So now we're in private chat with Brian. So we click over here.
Wow, you do good without a table.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm actually better without a table in the metaverse than I am with a. Check out my moves. So what do you guys think so far in the chat? Can you guys see yourself,
Yeah.
come here, bust a move out, get some stuff going, hanging out here. We're gonna go to the movie theater. We're gonna talk about that. In the project that the community we've been building, Cooler Brands, we actually had it was a couple months ago. We all got on Zoom and we watched Raiders of the Lost Ark together, right? It was a great experience, but it was nothing compared to what we're going to be able to do in the metaverse in here when we're doing it. And I'm going to talk about some scenarios maybe that you might not be thinking of, that you might go, well, oh, actually that would be pretty cool to be able to do that. So but being able to show and be able to dance well, that's one. Play the piano, that's another. Just hanging out at the bar, and being able to spend time with friends and family. Of course, there's the hot tub. Right now, we can get in the hot tub. We can sit. The character does not get wet, but eventually it will be where when you're in the. My fingers got a little crazy there. All right, there we go. I'm using my mouse pad for doing this. I mean, my computer pad instead of. Corey's been telling me I need to get a mouse or a joystick here so I can get a little bit more fluid there. So that's there on that side. So we're going to go over above it. So eventually the character will sweat when it's in the hot tub because it's a hot tub. The character will be wet when it gets out of the hot tub, things like that. Matter of fact, I believe you guys may have heard Brian say this before, is that eventually when you come to the bar, if you want your character to become inebriated with you as you drink drinks, your character will actually move, start to move in that direction of being a little bit, a little tipsy when you are have had a few drinks. The good thing is there'll be a non-tipsy button that you can just press, and it'll you won't be tipsy anymore. So we can come over here. Let's go sit by the fire. Eventually, you'll be able to reach out. There'll be other things, reach, pick up a drink, pour yourself a drink. So you'll be able to do these actions just like with the legs and the, all that stuff there. We can do that. Let's stand up. When you get down on the floor, here, there are different poses. So this will start again, give you the sense that little bug there where they went into the floor, that won't happen once you get into the full side of things, but you can basically have it changed. So it's just a physics thing that'll be fixed in the future. So that won't happen. So you can see there where you'll be able to hang out. You gotta click back on there again, have it stand back up. Oh, I want to go and hang out with my friend. All right. Here's me and Brian sitting on a couch hanging out.
You guys look cute together.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Does anybody else think that?
Oh, yeah. You're pretty buff, Peter.
Well, yeah, that's the good thing too, guys. If you want to be in a little better shape, both, you can be in a little better shape, be a little younger, be a little older, whatever it is that you want to be in the metaverse. So again, we can right click on Brian and we can do the message thing, and it'll do so that's why Brian's down here on the bottom for private message. We can just say hi. Now only Brian's able to see the message, right? Not everybody else that's in the message block side of things. So I'm a little slow, but I get there. Brian said, there you go. He's been trying to get me to private chat.
Sorry, my friend's a little slow.
All right, there we go. A little slow, but however, I do get there. So very cool stuff. You can say, and guys, I want you to think about, maybe you're somebody who's long distance dating and being able to actually just hang out on the couch, watch a movie together, right? Maybe it's you're a grandparent and you live a long distance from your grandkids, but being able to have them get an avatar and spend time doing stuff with them. I'm going to let Brian know we're going to head over to the movie theater. All right, let's jump to the movie theater. This is where I was talking about, on Zoom, we had a get together. I think we had about 70, 80 people that showed up for it. And it was, like I said, it was okay doing it on Zoom. We got a little bit of the semblance. We could, after the film was over with, we could really talk about it and do it. But this is an experience here where I could see, I don't have any grandkids yet, but if I do, when I do, and if they moved away, this would be a great way to, have them just pop on their favorite cartoon. I'm going to go to the better seats than the downstairs seats because I like the view from up here. Brian was saying perfect disclosure, mostly dry from the jacuzzi. All right, let's head on up. You don't have to walk crazy up the stairs like this. I'm just trying to get up the stairs, and I'm not really trying to be perfect there.
I think you need to click off your Clipsy button.
And of course, we got a cartoon playing. So this would be great for. So here's my view of me as a third, looking at it as a third person. But what I can do is I can just go on my pad and now I can get a first person view on it. So, but imagine, somebody who you'll want to spend time with sitting in the seat next to you, being able to look over and see them there, being able to chat with them. So look over and chat with them and then go back and watch the movie. Now you're watching their favorite movie with them versus just, talking about it or whatever it may be in the future. So these are the cool things that as people get a chance to do them, that is going to attract them to the metaverse in a big way. Because it's and of course, once you have 3D goggles, guys, these experiences, once that's turned on later mid next year, it's going to be incredible, right? Because you'll actually feel like you're in the environment. How many people here have done the 3D demos or maybe used the Oculus out there that are there? Corey has. Anybody else have used the Oculus? Guys, I'm telling you, it is like you're in the space, right? It's just crazy, right? How realistic it makes it feel when you're in using the VR stuff. So again, you get a great feeling here, but once you jump into VR, it's going to be absolutely incredible, and those experiences will be as real as possible in a virtual sense, and they're only going to get better. So we know that the technology, if we look at over the last 20 years, and we look at the improvements that have made to the regular web, right, when we were in, actually 25 years of development, right, mid 90s to 97, 98 is when things picked up, still dial up, and then went into high speed. But things have really adjusted and changed and moved in the right direction. So I want you to think about not just the experience today. Because here's the key is, the people that got wealthy, guys, are not the ones that looked at the web in 1998, 99, 95. It were the people that looked at the web in 95 and this guy Jeff Bezos was launching a company called Amazon, a shopping site named after a river in South America, right? The Amazon. Like, does that really even make any sense? But people who said, hey, wait a minute, I think selling books online are pretty cool, but if you had an audience to buy books, then that could convert to an audience to buy shoes and socks. And oh, wait a minute, could you build a distribution center where you could get products to people in a day? And of course, we know that was Amazon, and it became the largest online retailer in the world. And if you would have had vision at that time and not looked at it, because I am telling you, in 1995, when he started it, if you were on the internet, right? If you were on it, there were very few people on it, about 1 million people on it in the whole world out of 8 billion people, right? Or nearly 8 billion people. There's about 1 million people on it. And of those 1 million people, how many people actually saw? And if Jeff Bezos came to you guys, I want you to really put yourself in this position. It's 1985, and a guy that worked on Wall Street comes to you and says, listen, I want you to just imagine in that time you have $145,000 in cash in the bank. Then you're thinking about, I could buy a house, I could buy whatever it may be in there. And this guy, Jeff Bezos, he's a friend of your cousin's. He calls you up and he says, listen, I'm starting an online bookseller, and it's going to sell books online. And what I want is I'm going to sell 20% of the company at $1 million thing. So 20 people, $50,000. How many of you guys would have had the vision to buy that and would have seen what Amazon could become, not what Amazon was at the time? Because at the time, it was simply a website where you could post books. Internet was slow. There was, but again, the tech people were out there talking about the promise of the internet, that at some point we were all going to shop and buy stuff on there. And most of us said, you're kidding me. No way. People love going in the store too much. And they love to go shopping, oh my goodness, you'll never get people to want to shop more online than shopping there. I can tell you guys 90% of the stuff we buy right now is online. I know that's not everybody, but in our household, 90% of everything that comes in this house is delivered by, Amazon or Walmart or Target. Even we don't even barely go to Target anymore. We have a shopper that goes and shops for us, and they go to Target and they get all the stuff that we want, right? All of these things that have become conveniences in our lives. And so what we need to do, we as a community, we can't see the metaverse where it is today. We need to be able to look, and I guess that's my goal here, and my job is to get us to look beyond where it is right now and look at where it'll be in 24 months, 36, 48, 90 months out, 8-10 years out. Is Fusion GPS right? Is it going to be an $8-13 trillion? I actually believe they're low on those numbers. I think they're higher. I think it could be 20, 30, 40 trillion dollars a year. Anybody who's into the environment, right? Think about most people. So there's this great conflict of people during the pandemic that started to work at home in the tech sector. So these are the young people that are in the tech. So this Gen Xers, right? They work in the tech sector. They get to work from home. And then all of a sudden the pandemic is over with. And it's like, hey, it's time to come back to the office. No, we don't want to come back. Employees of companies fighting with their employers to not come back into the office. Think about the metaverse. Think about being able to have the best of both worlds where your staff could work. Because I believe that if you could, as an employer, if you could make sure that your employee was actually working and had an avatar and we could work with each other. Matter of fact, we as a company, we're around all over the place. We work on Zoom every single day. I cannot wait. Okay. I am a person who runs a company. We have, 10 people on staff. I cannot wait for us to be able to have our office in the metaverse. So again, think about that. Are there other owners, employees? Is there anybody here who runs a business who can see the metaverse improving that interaction, where you could maybe say, hey, you need less space, or be great for people to work at home, or maybe you're working with vendors. Anybody here ever do any manufacturing over in China? Oh my goodness, guys, it just absolutely incredible to think about being able to go into a virtual world and watch the design and the development of a product in a virtual world versus me having to travel to China. And a 20-hour flight across the whole world for me to go look and interact and be there. So, all right. So we talked about this, grandparents watching a movie with the grandkids. There's lots of fantastic, phenomenal things that can be done here. Let's go to the comedy club. All right. So we'll run over to the comedy club and we'll take a look at that. All right. So how many people here love comedy shows but don't like going to comedy clubs? Too much smoke, too much, loud noises, drinking, disturbing people in the audiences, things like that, right? Well, I want you to think about, you're able to jump in the metaverse and boom, here we go. All right. Going back to the Taylor Swift thing, guys, people will not have these bad experiences in virtual concerts. And again, with the 3D goggles, it will be as close as being there as you can. And I don't know about you guys, but how many of you guys would be excited? And there are some of you that would, because you do it. And maybe it's not Taylor Swift, maybe it's somebody else. How many people enjoy paying $450, $300, $500 for a concert ticket to go to a concert, right? And because of that expense, maybe you can go see, let's say 10 of your favorite artists are going to be going into concert over the next 3 or 4 months. You don't have $4,000 or $5,000 you can spend on concert tickets in the budget, but maybe you could pick one of those concerts that you enjoy going to, the biggest one, and the other 7 or 8 you could attend virtually, have a very real experience, right? With VR or AR, a great experience, maybe not as real, but yet only pay $5 or $10, but yet have the artist still get paid an exorbitant fund or amount of money to run their concert and have their concerts. So it'll be interesting. You'll be able to go there with friends and family from around the country, from around the world for that matter, where people will be able to attend and be a part of it. So very important, guys, because one of the things, we're going to go over here. I already asked Corey and Jan about this. You guys know they are our in-house DJs for being able to run our AMAs, our burn parties, things like that. They cannot wait for these controls to be activated and to be able to run an event and have their DJ events right here in the metaverse and having a great time. Because eventually all these buttons will be activated, guys. Anything you can do in the real world, the character will be able to do in these. You'll be able to have your own movements and stuff pre-programmed in. If you're a big enough influencer and stuff like that, there'll be standard ones that you can use here, but you can really bring the experience to life. So real quick, guys, I'm going to jump in the chat here. Any thoughts, guys, for feedback and other scenarios that maybe you guys can see yourself where you're like, oh, wow. Let me ask you guys, looking at this and going through this, is this sparking any ideas, concepts in anybody's mind of like, oh, wait a minute, I could do that in the metaverse. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't think about this. Walking pets would be a lot. Having a pet in the metaverse would be a lot easier than a real pet, right? Right? If you forget to feed it, maybe it could be like the Tamagotchis though. If you forget to feed it, it actually goes there. So we could probably gamify that, right, and make that happen. So let's get out of that.
Peter,
Yes.
Drew is wondering about languages. Will there be translation available?
Zillions, guys. Anything with AI, with all that stuff, all that stuff will be available for you to be able to do. You know, over the years as this develops, eventually, let's say you run a business. Let's say you run I don't know, a rare bookstore. Okay, since we were talking about Amazon, we'll stick with rare bookstores. And you're running a rare bookstore, and you deal with customers. So let's say you're going to work 8 hours a day. You're there in your thing. You know, in that day, 50 people come in and ask you questions about rare books. You could program, and this is if you want to, guys, not you have to. You'll be able to have your avatar train an AI version of yourself. So the AI will run your avatar. And it listens to how you ask questions. Sir, where do I find, rare books on English clocks? Okay, yeah, that's over there in this section. And if you're somebody that would walk them over to the section, your avatar is going to walk them over to the section. If you give instructions, it will give instructions. But here's the cool part about it is the avatar would be able to know where every single book in the thing is. So it would actually take them and pull out that book, and it could hand it to the customer. But it's doing it in your tone, in your voice, in who you are. So now your bookstore can be open 24/7. And people, and as Drew's question is if somebody comes in and they speak Spanish, guess what? My AI will speak to them in Spanish, in my voice, and it will do the job for me. But it's not doing a job that I pre-programmed. It has watched my sales technique. It has listened to my speech patterns. It watches and sees when my hands move and when they don't move. And so it begins to mimic me in the real world. And it will say over the top of the character, if you wanted to, that it's AI, right? This is my AI self, but it's been trained by me. Boom, now we're ready to go. So you're not doing it to fool people. You're doing it to provide a service. How many of us have gone to a store and it was closed, or the person in the store didn't know what the heck they were talking about? Anybody here ever get sent to the wrong aisle in a Home Depot store? Or is it just me? Am I the only one that's ever been sent to the wrong aisle in the Home Depot store from the Home Depot person? Right? I think, maybe an AI would know where everything is and would be able to send me to the right aisle. We've talked about fast food restaurants getting the wrong order, things like that. So there are going to be some vast improvements. But again, with all improvements, guys, comes, change, loss of jobs and things. And this is the reason I really believe. Second reason, the first reason we're going to talk about, which is decentralization. And I've been hitting on this a lot. So we're going to go outside now to the Otherverse Plaza. Let's head out there. Look. So the idea of decentralization in this space, right? When it comes to really being able to keep Web3. So we have Web3. Metaverse is the core of Web3. It's digital assets, digital items linked to digital. It is going to, it's going to change things. I actually when in the next few weeks, be able to take a sneak peek. We're actually building a different building. I can show you where the building is going to go, but a replacement building is going to be there. Yeah, we're switching from one metaverse to the outside world. So sorry about that, Marty. Let me know when you guys can hear me again. Am I back? All right, you're good. Okay, great. All right. So, there's a couple things that are important in the world of the metaverse. So one is, and it's the second one, which is the replacement of jobs, right? The fact that AI, and look, we don't have to like you guys. I don't know. I can't say that I'm a fan of AI, and I can say I'm not. We're using it and it's working really well. but I do understand that there's positives and there are negatives to it, right? The negative is hundreds of millions of people, and this is not just me saying it, guys. This is going to happen. I am telling you right now, somebody who is using AI right now, there is nothing. So the cat is out of the bag. There is no stopping the AI movement, right? As a matter of fact, even if the US, let's say, comes up with rules and regulations and all that stuff, the rest of the world will develop and outpace us, right? And so there's no stopping AI from doing it. So we know this now. This is not going to be like one day you're going to wake up and go, oh, I wish somebody would have told me about AI and that was going to replace it. So hundreds of millions of jobs are going to go away, possibly as much as 1 billion jobs. And if you listen to Elon, it's just about every job will go away. And the reason why they say that is there has been, in the last short period of time, Google has made major breakthroughs in AI and robotics, right? Major breakthroughs in AI and robotics that will change around a lot of what will happen. Now, will society adjust and will it move around? Yes. But I believe that if you prepare now, this leads to mission number 1. So the second most important thing is that 800 million people are going to lose their jobs and they're going to need some income. But then the one that's above that is this idea of decentralization. Let me ask this question. How many people feel that that there's transparency, and I don't care where you're at in government around the world? How many? Put in a 1 if you think there's transparency, a 2 if you think there is no transparency at this point, right? I think we're going to get a lot of 2s, right? And it doesn't matter. There are people on this from all political aisles, right? All the different political belief systems are on here, and all you guys see is 2s. The only way, I believe, Peter's personal opinion is, for us to get transparency into government is with decentralization. Building a decentralized networks that then the centralized government networks will have to function and operate in. And this is one of my big pushes for Web3 here, guys. It's not just about money. Do I like money? Yes. Do I want a lot of it? Yes. I want to make sure that I never have to worry about money ever again. And if anybody who I love is having financial issues, I can just say, hey, here's some money, right? And help them and get that taken care of. Or if there's a fire somewhere or something bad happens, I'm able to just say, oh, here's some money. Let me go help. Let me go help somebody rebuild. Wouldn't it be? Let me ask you guys a question. Put in a 1 if you think this would be cool. What if everybody on here had enough money that we could go to Hawaii and help rebuild just one house for somebody whose house got burned up in the fire? How cool would that be? Right? But why couldn't we do it? Because we're barely making our bills. We're barely getting by. So money's going to give us the ability to do that. But more important to it is the opportunity, the ability for us to reach our full potential, to go out in the world and make a difference and not be. Let me ask you a question. How many of you guys feel like you're playing Monopoly with the government, with life, but you know that the banker is like cheating you, right? Like he goes, here's 100 for you and here's 500 for my friends. Oh, you got a 50? Let me peel off 50 for George over here, my cousin, my uncle, my aunt, my friend, my donors, right? Does anybody else feel like you're in a Monopoly game and you're at a complete disadvantage because the people running the game are cheating? Is it just me or is it anybody else? If you feel that way, put in a 3. Let's change the number up so we can see in the chat where it is. Does everybody else feel like you're playing a game with a stacked deck? I guess that would be the best way to put it, right? There's like a stacked deck against us, right? And so even if you can reach your full potential, if you're not willing to go and say that heck with everybody else, you're just at a disadvantage. So that is the purpose of Next Web3, guys. It's the reason why we're building this. And the relationships and stuff that we've established with Otherverse, these are not, I was on the phone with them at 3 o'clock this morning, right? Making sure, getting the demo set up. Of course, Brian came in. Brian knew, I told him we were doing the demo. Brian came in, took time out of his day to come and be in the game to make sure that there was somebody. And I call it a game, right? The other Metaverse it's all going to be gamified. If you guys look down here, there's a stamina bar. This can go down. I can improve it by going to the gym. We're going to go to a few more areas and jump around here. Let me ask you, Carly asked a question. How about temperature? In time, guys, a lot of the development will be put together where you can do that. You saw in the first Metaverse we went to, they were having a winter setup, right? So you'll have environments, Halloween, it could be a Halloween theme, Christmas, whatever it may be. But here's the cool part about it. Let's say that I'm, an atheist and I don't believe in Christmas. I cannot have to participate with that, but the people who do want to, again, will be able to. It's about personal choice and being able to be a part of it. Do avatars wear clothing appropriate to warm, cold, wet, dry environments? You decide on what clothes you want to put on. You could wear a winter jacket in the summertime if you want, right? That's totally up to you. Or you can, from there. For instance, if I joined a yoga class from home, also are there vehicles in the other version? Yes, guys, this is where I was actually talking to my personal trainer at the gym, and he has his client base. He wants to expand his client base. First of all, he doesn't have a lot more time. So we started to talk about the Metaverse and being able to have a training class in the Metaverse where he's training his AI avatar, being able to train people that are in other places, right? So before he moved here, he lived somewhere else. He had clients there. He had to leave his clients there, but being able to do that. And speaking of that, let's go to the gym. Let's do that. So, because we were just talking about being able to train your avatar. So if I wanted to increase my stamina, let's say that we're going to jump over to Lift, the gym. So one of the things that you can do is you can improve your character's stamina. I'm going to stop talking while we're transitioning because it uses up the bandwidth and it might get a little choppy. All right, here we are. So check it out, guys. Eventually, you will be able to get on the treadmills and your character stamina. So here's a standard stamina bar. If I work out on a regular basis, this is going to strengthen and it's going to get to where this is the gamification. This is where you can have contests, right? And let's say a company that sells gym equipment can have a contest in here where people will be able to come and compete for prizes, compete for other stuff. And of course, somebody who spent time in the gym will be able to do it. The cool thing is, though, you'll actually be able to overtrain as well, right? Because you want to learn from it, right? So what's the proper training time frame? You overtrained, you hurt yourself. So now you're actually in worse shape than in better shape, right? These are the things that you can start to tie in that will bring the real world into it. So now think about your kids. They're in here. They're learning to train. Think about through a gaming situation through this, them learning about fitness and learning how to healthy eating habits. If you eat a lot of jelly donuts in the Metaverse, guess what? Your character can slow down or speed up and do things like that. So these are just all cool things. Let's go back out here to the plaza. Are you guys enjoying this? Or you just want me to be quiet? That was a funny, guys. I was trying to be funny at least. Should I go get a job at the comedy club? Yes or no on the comedy club? Chris Mills, no. CJ, no. Thank you, Gary. All right. See, Chris is lying, so he thinks it's funny. So Bryce is enjoying heck out of it. Great stuff. All right, very good. All right, so let's go check out a couple things. So, guys, I want to give you guys a little experience. They're gonna get an outdoor environment because really, when you get in the outdoor environments, it's pretty cool. But I'm gonna cheat things here a little bit. We're gonna go walk through the trees over here in a space. Let me speed up and run just about done. So hang in there for a few more minutes, guys, and do it. I could show you guys how to climb the stairs, even though you're not really supposed to be able to. I figured out how to do it. I've spent some time in here, but let's go over here and let's go for a little walk in the woods area. I don't. Oh, this is one I can't go to. Let's go to a woods that we can go to here. We'll go to the right here. Up. I got to tell you, I got to get a joystick, Corey. Maybe you get me one for Christmas, buddy. I'm getting you guys seasick, aren't I?
I'm not sure you can wait that long, Peter. You might need to get one for Thanksgiving.
Maybe I'll get my wife to buy me one.
Yeah.
She'll buy me one. She loves me. I'm just not patient enough to keep it on track and do it. I know the reason why. So
We'll have to take your tipsy button off.
People like my kids and stuff, or Corey, you guys know Corey's a gamer, right? So he'll be able to navigate. We're going to have him be the host next time and navigate you guys through. But let's jump over here and go for a walk in the trees, right? You there. We jumped over the bush. Oh, I'm in the tree. Don't want to be in the tree. But think about, guys, there's a setting here, a quick button for a picnic, right? Rolls out my picnic blanket, puts a basket out there. Now I'm here in the thing having a picnic with maybe, again, long distance dating or with the family, family and friends. Let's do this one right there. There we go. All right. Being able to hang out and spend some time with your grandkids, things like that. So I just you guys can tell my daughter just got married and we're just thinking about having grandkids here. So it's an important feature at this stage in our life. If you would have asked me about them 10 years ago, I probably would have said no, but nowadays it's become a very important feature in our life. Is it important to anybody else? I know Jody. So I got to tell you guys, Jody went and flew to New York. Just an incredible person. He flew to New York to spend 8 hours with his granddaughter and then jumped back on a plane and flew. Not that he wouldn't still do that in the metaverse. However, he would be able to occasionally spend a little bit more time, being able to do something or a special event without having to jump on an airplane every single time and be a part of that. So all right. I can show you guys I won't show you my secrets yet in here. I have some secret places and things that we can go, but we'll save that for next time, guys. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's have a conversation as a group on where we can. So let's talk about this relationship that we have with. So why would you why would you go share what we're doing with Next Web 3 with other people? I can turn my camera on now that I'm not. Let me get it completely out of Otherverse, so I can do that. Okay. Oh. Close the window. There we go. All right. So why is this important, guys? And why is it? It's because of the relationship that we've built with them. And it's not a relationship that could be built any other way other than, we as a team. And when I talk about that, the community has been providing value, FNFTs, packages, things like that. But as a team, myself, Corey, Dawn, Sharona, Rhonda, Jan, we have probably put, and I don't know, maybe correct me if I'm a little high, Dawn, thousands of hours of time, effort, and energy into other.
That's about right. Over the past year, yeah.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah. We've put a lot of time into it, guys, in building some stuff. So I don't know, some of you guys may not know, we designed the new logo. So when we came to Otherverse, there was a logo. It was not fitting for a $1 trillion company, right? It just was not up to par. So we redesigned the logo for Otherverse, the one that's there now. And then the same with the Xeon browser, and tying those two together and put it to there. We built the original website. We did the NFTs for FNFTs, and we'll continue to work on those. We're helping with the token stuff, but over time, we've really built a great relationship with Brian and with the team, and so it's become more of a friendship, and we'll be able to utilize that, guys, to create value for the members of Next Web 3. And so how does that play out? Well, first of all, we're working with them on the business development stuff. And we took the job for doing that because I believe in this so much, right? And the team believes in this so much that we're the best spokespeople right now for what's going on, right? But what does that do? That means that every piece of business development, all of it, that is taking place in Otherverse is coming to us first, right? We're the ones that are getting the leads. We're actually in the business development lead system that Otherverse has set up, and those leads are coming to us. So we have a front row seat to who's building and what they're doing in the metaverse. Can anybody put in the chat how you think that could be an advantage? If you were able to build a relationship with all the companies that are coming into Otherverse, and you knew that they were happening early on in the stage. Can you guys see where that could create some value? Anybody got any ideas? The best advantage, Jody, $signs. Yeah, because when they go to us, okay, so we have money to build this thing, but we really need some marketing done. Oh, we've got a marketing company that we're partners with. It's Next Web 3, right? Somebody goes, hey, I have this great idea. I have a following myself, but I need somebody to seed my metaverse, right? And I've got $1 million to spend, or I'm going to do a digital asset, and I'm willing to give some of that, because they're going to understand and they're going to know that they're going to need to pay to do that. We've already built a relationship with them. We're helping them with their metaverse. It would be an easy thing for them to say, yeah, let's use Next Web 3. So it will open the door to tremendous opportunities there. One of the other things it does is, let's say that in ABC Metaverse over here, somebody's doing something really cool. And because we have a collective, right, a lot of people, 50, 100,000 people, one of our members is just over there looking around. They go, oh my God, I just had this cool, incredible experience over in this metaverse. And so they let the community know. We all go look at it and go, oh my God, this thing's going to be the biggest thing ever in the metaverse. Well, wait, we have a DAO over here. The DAO has a few $1 million in digital assets to put into something. We could go to those people and say, hey, why don't you guys come over here and build and do a joint venture and put that together? But also we could say, wait a minute, we like what they're doing, but we can make improvements to that. And the DAO itself could take that super cool thing and then build it in Otherverse and, capture a large portion of the value that's being created and bring something incredible to our community. How many people get excited about that? I'm like thrilled out of my mind, right? Also, too, is wouldn't it be nice to work with a company that you have a relationship where you could get maybe a little priority on development stuff, on, we're not going to cut in line in front of anybody, but, hey, our project is here and we need to make some great stuff happen. So these are the advantages. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is what we do. Okay. So these advantages we will build with other vendors, other people. And that's what we're going to bring to the community, the team, right? And then what we all bring to each other is the collective intelligence, the collective resources, collective networks, helping us find the right people to become part of this community. People that do care about freedom and decentralization. People that would like to live in a world that, we're going to leave a better place. people that understand that our grandkids and our great grandkids are going to be here long after we're gone, right? For, you know, in a lot of situations, and then the next generation, and the next generation. And there is something, I know we all have to survive, right? You got to pay the car payment. You got to pay the house payment. You got to pay the rent if you're renting. You've got to have food on the table. But I believe that we as a society, we as people need to start looking a little bit further down the road, and not just what's in front of us today, but where are we going to be? You know, how many of us thought, maybe we wouldn't even be here today 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, you're like, oh, shoot, I'm not even going to be around in that, 2023. So why do I even care? Right. But we do need to care, and we do need to begin to say, let me do something today for that future and for planning there. I think one of the reasons why, Chinese society, China, has an advantage on us, because they do have, their society does look at a long term, right? They have like 100-year plan. And I think our leaders, this is the leadership there, our leaders here have like well, it depends on what office you're in. If you're in the House, you have a 2-year plan. If you're in the Senate, you have a 6-year plan. If you're in the White House, you have a 4-year plan, right? Because your only goal is to get reelected, right? If you're governor, it's whatever your governor is. So we have these very short thought processes of, how can I make people happy today so I can get reelected, versus how do I really make people lives better today? Maybe they're not happy, but their lives are better, and still look towards the future and make it happen. I'm telling you guys right now, there's only one way for us to get there. And that is Web3 and its decentralized networks. We must be able to have things in place that the people demand that government uses, that forces transparency, that makes it to where there aren't things happening in the background. We don't need somebody to go do the investigative reporting in order for us to understand things. And if there are people investigating it, looking into it, reporting about it, they're able to get very accurate information, because it was done on a blockchain. It was done in this new mechanism called Web3. So anyway, that's my spiel, guys. I'm on my soapbox. Appreciate everybody being here. Give me an hour of your time today, hour and actually about 12 minutes. We're really excited about this. Would love to right now. Remember, we started with a question. Please, if you guys can tell me after today, can you see maybe a little bit more? I know Corey was able to just here recently, looked at it and said, okay, now I can start to see where and how I could interact in the metaverse. But I'd love to hear from you guys for the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes of your thought process on this, whether it's the team on the panel or whether it's a community member that's out there, a Next Web3 DAO community member, whether you're on YouTube, if you want to put a response in, we'll convey it over here, or if you're on the Zoom. So I'm turning it over to you guys. I've done my talking for the day. Well, until we get back on the other Zoom. Awfully quiet. Did I lose everybody?
No, you're good. I'll just say, especially with Thanksgiving tomorrow, I am super grateful for where we are and this community and the team and your leadership, Peter, and the relationship you've built with Otherverse, with Brian, all the things we get to be involved in now. I'm super excited. I can't wait to just do more and more and more. And this next year is going to be amazing, with the relationships that we're still building, and as Otherverse unfolds and we're actually in it and meeting in it, our conferences and our just daily offices, all those kinds of things are going to be super fun. But just being able to hang with me, go to movies and hang it out at the club, just being able to interact with people that we haven't gotten to do in so long, and a little party eventually, getting everybody back together. It's just going to be phenomenal. Very excited.
Thank you, Dawn. We're losing Dawn there a little bit, but I think you guys heard most of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're good.
Okay.
And it might be my network is low. I don't know. It says Dawn's Clifton's network bandwidth is a little low on the top of my thing. So university sports, streaming games, guys, I want to tell you, and I've already talked to Brian about this. Imagine in a Super Bowl 5, 7, 8 years from now, Apple's getting ready to come out with glasses. So let's look at the history of Apple. So Apple decided to do iPods, right? Or what they called the iPod, but there were MP3 players before that. They just weren't popular. Apple gets into the business, launches the iPod, and all of a sudden it blows up, right? Now standard, just absolutely took it by storm. They did the same thing in the tablets, guys. They weren't the first ones to come out with tablets, but they blew it up with the iPad. They did the same thing with watches. There were watches out there before Apple came out in the watch. Every category that they go into, they supercharge. They absolutely add to it in a tremendous way. They're getting ready to come out with VR glasses. Oculus has been making a little progress. Few more people get them, few more stuff. Not a ton of developers yet in the space, but that's growing. But here in the first quarter, Apple comes out with their glasses, guys, and it is going to blow up. This is how we get wealthy. This is how we become trendsetters, guys. We don't look at what's happening now. We look at history and we look at where it's going. We look at the last bull run and this, in this bear market. We look at the halvings. We look at this stuff and we begin to predict the future. And if we can predict one thing right out of everything we're doing, then we can put ourselves in the right place at the right time with the right community, the right people, and we can accelerate our financial position. We can create wealth together by doing that. And here we are right now, and I'm telling you, these are recorded, right? It's on YouTube. These things are being broadcast. I know that somebody will be able to go back and look at this a year, 2, 3, 5 years from now, and it will be whether I was right or wrong. If I'm right and you came with us, right, and we brought a lot of other people with us, oh my goodness, what a tremendous future, right? And that is going to be the end result. I don't give a lot of definites, but I am telling you guys, we have a clear picture of where the world is going, where it's going to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years down the road. And everything we're doing in Next Web 3, everything we're doing in Otherverse, everything we're doing in these areas, all works today, but will work tremendously better in the future. This is the wave, right? Ride the wave. The wave is set up and we are in perfect paddling position to catch the biggest financial wave in our lifetimes. And guess what? You can come on the ride with us. You're on it with us already if you're on here. But here's the cool part. You can bring a lot of other people with you. You can bring other people. You don't have to, and you don't have to think about how many people have gotten into home-based business. You're like, oh, I know Susan. She's a recruiting crazy person. She would be the person I bring it to. You don't need that here. They don't need to recruit because in regular businesses, it's the recruiters who make all the money. Is there money here for the affiliate program? Absolutely. But where the most wealth creation is in the participation of the Web3 projects, of Otherverse, of the movements that we're creating and that are going to move forward. So, Corey, Rhonda, Sharona, you guys want to say anything? Any community member wants to kind of throw a thought out there? Or just me?
Oh yeah, I'll just extend on what you were saying. What I was experienced earlier when you first brought us on and was showing the walkthrough. I could before I could see the allure of it, but today was actually like going into the comedy club and sitting down and watching a comic perform and having other people around, and I could really see myself actually today in the metaverse and in Otherverse, and having an awesome experience and seeing the allure of a lot of people wanting to be in there. And so I can see the thousands pouring in soon, and the millions after that. And so it's really taken it to the next level, and very proud to be a part of it. And I also am grateful and thankful for you, Peter, and the team, and the relationships we've created in this space. And heck yeah, it's going to be a good next few months on.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Well, everybody in the US, I think we're going to end the call there unless Sharona or Rhonda want to say something. I know Rhonda was cooking a turkey, so she's probably watching to make sure it doesn't burn. Sharona's here, though. Go ahead, Sharona.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm multitasking. I'm getting ready for a vendor show on Sunday. So I've been listening with great optimism and being grateful that I'm probably not going to be doing vendor shows once I get to hang out in the Otherverse and do other stuff there. It's something else. It's just, and like Corey said, it kind of like I get the allure of it, but didn't quite get the me. What am I going to be part of that? What am I going to do? But I'm excited about the working together in an office on the top floor of the yacht, and our avatar can go, because I remember saying to the gang, oh man, does that mean we have to get dressed if we're going to go to an office in the Otherverse? No, but your avatar can. Oh, okay, good. Because working at home is a whole different animal. And yeah, it's going to be really fun. And the concert thing, because I have a thing about crowds, and being in a crowd in real life, that just kind of freaks me out. But being able to still see musicians, artists, comedians, etc., that I really enjoy on TV in the privacy of my own home, I can go and see them in a concert setting and not get that same level of heat, crowds, smoke, whatever. And yeah, there's just so much opportunity. And I've seen some other chats or comments in the chats about seeing how it's going to affect the medical community and healthcare. It's not all about entertainment.
Oh, yeah, no, not matter of fact, there's a report that's been done that said that between Metaverse and AI, it could reduce medical costs by 80%, guys. Accuracy, medical costs by 80%. For the people in the US, guys, 30% of our economy is spent on medical. So imagine the changes, the financial empowerment that can do. Instead of going to a hospital and getting $100,000 bill, maybe your bill's only 20 grand, still a lot. Imagine the prices of insurance going down. Think about the benefits that all of this stuff will have. And if we position ourselves right with the DAO and with collective resources, collective stuff, we don't just have to watch it and say, oh, it lowered my medical bill. We can back and support the projects, the companies, the things that are going to make the 80% reduction, that are going to create massive wealth because they went and saved people money. So we can participate this on both sides of the equation, benefiting as a society member, but also benefiting as somebody who is able to be a part of that and join in on those.
That is so exciting when I think about like the medical devices, like the telemed we're going to be able to do. Like that just really excites me, not having to wait at a doctor's office for 5 hours just to be seen for 15 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? The things that just really irritate me. But Peter, I have to say something really quick, and I'll let others speak too. But Bryce was watching the whole demo with me, and I have to tell you, you as a visionary has rubbed off on him. He's been here a long time with us, but he was talking the whole time about, I can't wait until I can build in Otherverse and I can make a teen area or a place that's safe for kids, and a zoo and a museum and a school and we could do homeschool there and all these things, and we can have an amusement park. And he said, I want the adults to be part of it too, but it would be just a cool place for kids to be able to hang out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah,
Like a daycare area.
a daycare,
Playground.
playground. Yeah, absolutely. All those kind of things.
I want to talk, right? When we get done with our road trip, like when we get to my cousin's place,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start like filming videos of 3 different other metaverses that I play a lot
Very cool.
and am used to.
So we can compare.
Yeah.
Anyway, that
That's
was just
awesome.
really
Thank you,
exciting
Betty.
to me as a mom,
You're
just to hear him talk about the vision and all the things we can do, and it was just so fun.
I feel like
Our little Bryce is growing up.
That's cool. I just love it.
A little bit more.
Oh my
But
goodness.
you know, guys, this is a different time. When we were kids, it was hard for kids to start businesses, but now with these metaverses and this online, they're able to go and create their own economies. There are kids, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that are making 6 figures a year in things like Roblox, right? In some of the other areas. We're going to do the same thing in Otherverse. We're going to build these vast economies that are going to just improve the lives of so many people out there. And young people like Bryce are going to be able to go in and use their creativity in the metaverse to be able to develop that. And then of course, it's all going to flow back out to the real world. And there, there'll be that side of it where it's improving our everyday lives. And
That is so cool. He was asking about jobs. He said, you think I could work in the other version? I was like, yeah, of course you can.
better believe it.
Train him early.
Yes, absolutely. Well, all
Well,
right.
Peter,
Go ahead,
I just want to say I did a got really curious about the speed of technology in the way I envision it, yeah. And I did a post that was 30 years in the 70s, 80s, and 90s compared to the 200 to 230, right? And there were like 4 things that I thought were like advancements, right? A mobile phone, AOL, mail, that kind of stuff. 4 things in the 70s, 80s, and 90s compared to 18 or 19 or 20 in the last 30, not even the last 30 years. So when we look at this, and you talk about this a lot, Peter, the speed at which this development is coming and the fact that we are in front of it. So when we talk to our friends and family, and they go, what's a metaverse? It's like, well, let me show you real quick. And thank you, Sharona. In Discord, she popped 2 or 3 or 4 little videos of the walkthroughs that Peter was showing us this morning. And you can quickly show them, say, this is what we're talking about here. And the technology and the way that things are growing and the advancements in education. When Bryce talked about homeschool, oh my golly, the effect that this just a metaverse gives somebody the opportunity to really take homeschooling to the next level, right? So it's not all, like you said, Sharona, about entertainment. It is about advancing our lives and in our health and our well-being and our financial health, all of it. And we really, truly are in front of it. And we've got this responsibility. I used to say the opportunity, but now I feel like it's a responsibility to get people to sort of wake up and pay attention so that they aren't left behind. Because, I don't know, it probably took me about 5 years to get onto Facebook. Well, somebody can't wait 5 years to get into some of the things that we're talking about, because that's light years. And when you talk about what's being developed, right? That's light years, 5 years. Can you imagine what what Otherverse is going to look like in 5 years? I can't even imagine what it's going to look like in 6 months, right? Or even 3 months. I mean, it's like so fast. And it can be intimidating for sure. At the same time, it's going to happen whether people are paying attention or not. So when you can find those who are willing to pay attention, they too can help us make a difference, right? So it is finding like-minded people, finding people who are interested in this type of advancement, and getting them to step in and get more curious and then educated. And we can help people do that so easily. That's what we're all about. So it is super, super exciting. And the fact that, Peter, you've been so diligent over the last 7 years, just add it to create these relationships with folks and find people and open up doors for each and every one of us is unbelievable.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Yeah,
guys,
unbelievable.
It's just exciting stuff. And
It
look,
is.
I think a lot of us too out there right now, guys, are thinking, I'll start sharing this with other people when I understand it all. And I'm gonna let you guys off the hook. I don't think we'll ever understand, even if you were, and I said this last night on the call, even if you were a full-time expert, there are people who are just doing, so when you look at like a chain link that has 100 employees, there are people that have disciplines in one area that work on these projects because there's so much vast information. We don't need to really even, understand the complete benefits of decentralization. We just need to know that centralized has not worked well for the majority of people, to our standards, at least. Let's put it that way. So decentralization has the potential to be it. And that's the kind of conversation, is just having a conversation like I did with you guys when I asked the questions. Do you think that things have worked for you at this point? And if the answer is no, then say, hey, there is a better solution. It's called decentralization. It's Web3. And when they go, well, what is that? Go, look, I just, let me get you to a video. Go watch this. Go watch this person. And guys, by the way, it does not need to be me or us, the content we're creating. You can go on YouTube and put in the benefits of decentralization. There are some great videos on there. So the first thing you don't have to do is send them to a presentation of ours. You can send them to a 6, 8, 10-minute video that explains decentralization. Start to think through the process of when you're sharing this with people. First of all, I got to get people to understand decentralization, because that's the core of Web3. And then we can get them to understand there was a Web 1 and a Web 2 and a Web 3. But it's worth it to put the time and the effort and the energy into moving this forward. The team has heard a few calls that I've done with people on the phone, how I discuss this with them. Matter of fact, we had somebody come on yesterday. I was talking, a good friend of mine, and he's like, well, what is it going to cost me? And I go, I'll be honest with you, Brian, I don't, $50 to $1,400. His name is Brian too, not Brian Quinn or Brian Schuster, but another Brian. I'm like, look, I don't need your money on the mint. It's the concept. It's the idea. It's you getting involved in participating. Yes, you need to mint something, but that's to be able to say, hey, I've got some skin in the game and I want to move forward and I want to help with this. But the idea is community is commerce. Community is commerce. So the goal is to build the community. So you're not trying to convince or talk anybody into getting into Next Web3 to be it. But what I believe all of us have the obligation to do for our future, right? For leaving behind a legacy, for being able to make this better, is we at least have the obligation to share it with people and say, hey, here's what's going on. You take the information and you do what you believe is right with this information. But I'm just going to share the information with you. And again, if you say, hey, I don't believe that, I like the centralized world, cool, have at it. What we're looking for are the 10, 20, 30, 40, I believe over 50% of the people in the world, that if they understood the power of decentralization, this is what I truly believe, guys. This is a no-brainer if and when people begin to understand and believe that decentralization is the answer to a better life for just about everybody on the planet, right? I'll say just about everybody, because there's some people that have very nice lives because of the centralized system that might not have as much life, as nice a life, right? They might have to give up some of that giant wealth that they've built. But for the majority of people out there, a decentralized world is better than something that's controlled by a few people who think they're smarter than you and me on their worst day, right? They believe they can run our lives better than we can run our own lives. Just that alone, I believe we're at least 50% of the population, not just here in the US, but around the world that are saying, you know what, there's got to be a better way. And so it's worth it for us to invest the time, the effort, and the energy to get them to look at the information, for them to then make that determination and say, hey, I'm on team, people's web, not team corporate web, right? Because right now, all of us are on team corporate web, right? We need to move off team corporate web, and we need to move on to Web3, the people's web, and advance this thing and move it forward. So if you're in the US, have a great Thanksgiving, and enjoy family, eat lots of food. I'm not going to tell you to stick with the diet, throw the diet out the window, have a good time, enjoy pumpkin pie, enjoy your turkey, or whatever it is you're having for Thanksgiving. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you guys for being here and helping us move this thing forward. Thank you, and we'll see you. What's our next call, guys? Are we not doing the one on Friday, or are we doing the one on Friday? I don't mind doing it. You guys tell me.
No,
Right now, we've announced that the next call is on Tuesday night. So
let me ask this question, guys.
Mhm.
Let me ask the community here. We got about 20-something people still left.
Yeah.
Would you guys like for us to have a Friday 10 o'clock call? 1 if you do, 2 if you don't. And I'm not going to be hurt if you put in a 2, okay? Thank you, BJ.
He'll still be on a call on Tuesday.
All right, guys, 2s are winning right now, so we'll have it on Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay, you guys do have the video link that you can play for people. I'm cool with it. No 10 o'clock Friday morning call. I will be working on Friday. I will be working on Saturday. I will be working on Sunday to move this thing forward, and make this thing happen, guys, because I believe it is a mission that we need to be on, and we're going to make it happen. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Love you guys, and we will see you Tuesday at 5 o'clock PST.
There you go.
Sharona's going to be in the office with me, too, because she's in Canada, and so she doesn't take off tomorrow. It's not her holiday, so she's going to work with me, because I'll get on for a few hours tomorrow. Take most of tomorrow off, because we will have family here and have a good time. And I do understand, guys, people taking breaks and doing what's necessary. But I'm a fanatic when it comes to Web3 and moving this thing forward. So, fanatical people, they do crazy things. Love you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.